Hello, everyone. I'm Tiana S, reporting for Kids First, and today I'm going to be speaking with Flower Shop founder, Miss Amirah Kassem, and NYC City Cakes founder, chef, Mr. Benny Rivera, about their new roles as food art experts and the judges on Disney's new food competition show, Foodtastic. They're both here today for a Foodtastic conversation. Welcome, Miss Kassem and Mr. Rivera. How are you?
We are fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm super excited to be speaking with you about Foodtastic. I got to screen the show and it is truly amazing.
Thank you so much. We are so excited to hear that you think that way because we definitely feel the exact same way.
Yes, well, let's get right into it. So, Miss Kassem, as a food artist yourself, how was the experience watching the contestants build their own food designs?
I mean, it's just incredible. I have never myself competed, but definitely seeing them put together these builds that are larger than life using actual Disney characters from Disney IP movies is just so incredible. And I think that being immersed into the world of Disney through these builds and these creations, it's just so different. And seeing that they're using foods from a broccoli to a ramen mixed with chocolate is just so crazy and fun and unique to be able to call that art and put it together in such technical and creative ways.
For me, the experience was just incredible. I mean, having the chance and the opportunity to work within the work of Disney with these amazing, talented artists, it's just like something that I wasn't planning and I wasn't expecting. And seeing what they were able to put together and create at the end of each episode, working with food was just mind-blowing.
Yes, and before this interview, I got a chance to speak with Miss Keke Palmer, and I think that there should be an Alice in Wonderland episode. That would be really cool to see.
Oh my gosh, that is one of my favorite movies. I started a list in my head. I know that Benny's going to go for Frozen, but I was like Alice in Wonderland, Coco, Peter Pan. I mean, it just keeps going. Yeah. I'm with you. Just manifest that season 2, please.
Yes, I would love to see that.
Yes.
So, Mr. Rivera, this is not just another cake or baking competition. This is truly the first food art competition. So how does the competition work and what are you looking for as judges?
So you're right. This is completely different from any typical competition show. This is food. We're talking about any and all kinds of food. So each episode, Keke presents us with the challenge, and there's 3 teams of 3 contestants, and they go head to head in building basically the largest, most magical food art installations. And Benny's judging on technicality. I'm judging on creativity and color. But really, the thing that ties us all together is it also has to have a story behind it, right? It's not just about the beauty of their creations. It's also about the story behind it and how they tie it together and make us believe that. But I think that it's the first of its kind. You nailed that.
Yeah, I think us as a judge, we were taken through an amazing journey on each episode, because every episode, like Amirah mentioned before, is based on a Disney character or movie. And on each episode, each team will have the chance to create something that amazed us. And it was incredible what they were able to achieve with that. And like I mentioned before, this is definitely not the traditional competition show that you are used to watch on TV. So people have to give the chance to enjoy it and watch it.
Yes, of course. And Mr. Rivera, you were talking about how they build up the sculptures and the creativity behind it. So I know at the beginning, before the contestants actually get into building their designs, they have to go through actually creating a layout for their designs and all the judges look at it. So what is your take on just seeing their first designs and how it turns out in the end?
It's really interesting because I think that when I personally don't draw, I know Benny is amazing at drawing, but for me, I look at some of the drawings that if you ask me to draw what I'm creating, it's usually crayons, it's usually messy and probably doesn't look very good. But in the end, it comes together as this beautiful piece. And what I found is that a lot of these artists were actually amazing at drawing and explaining what they were doing. But one thing that Benny and I we're sort of both naturally jumping in on is right away noticing that's too big, this isn't going to work. And this is all just from drawing and explanation. So I think that I mean, I was kind of speaking for Benny here, but we just were so fascinated by that initial concept. And it's just so creative. But then you have to bring in Benny to say, like, let's talk about this from a technical standpoint and see what's actual possible. But sometimes Benny and I were wrong, and they proved us, and they just wowed us with what they could actually do.
I have to say that each team did an amazing job because they came with a plan, with the original idea and a concept. And I believe that most of them were able to achieve that. Of course, there were some problems occasional here and there with a few people, but in general, they all did a great job.
Yes, I would have to agree. They definitely all lived up to the true meaning of Disney magic.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Miss Kassem, this show is geared towards families and children. So, for families and children at home who feel inspired after watching Foodtastic, what are some tips that you would have for them on creating food art in their kitchens at home?
Oh my God, so many things that you guys can make at home. Benny has a ton of tips and tricks on sort of taking fruits into flowers. I'm always encouraging people to look at the tools in your kitchen as something different than what they're actually being used for. Look at your cookie cutters, different things like that. I also think that people could maybe start by playing around with a charcuterie board, whether it's with candy or cheese and fruits and nuts, whatever that is, and just sort of understanding the different colors and textures and how they come together, and going from there, and then going into a different world where you end up sculpting and doing crazy things.
People need to start looking at the food more than just a piece of food. There's beauty on each piece of food that you see in a vegetable, in a fruit, whatever you have around you. And when you are going to play that food, just make it look pretty, because you can. That's how you start. And who knows where you're going to end it.
Of course, and I'm the type of person who will do little things like that. Like, I'll create art pieces out of food that I have, and I don't even realize it. So this show definitely inspired me to get more into the creative aspect of things.
Awesome.
That makes me so happy, because that's what it's
great.
meant to do.
Yeah.
Yes. So this question is for Mr. Rivera. I love how the unused food from each competition is donated to local food banks. What was the response from the local food banks, and are the food sculptures included?
Well, I don't really know. I mean, I know that each episode we donate all the food that is used to the food banks, so the food doesn't go into waste.
I think also it's really amazing, and they've been so excited because, you know, normally on food shows, you donate a lot to food banks of all the unused food and all of that, and it's usually cake. But I know that it's really exciting to be able to donate more than just cake. I mean, we're donating fruits, vegetables, grains, things that are not just the sweets. And I think especially even just produce, fresh produce, I think is so important. So the fact that the show gets to donate such amazing things that are full rounded to create amazing meals is just so beautiful.
Correct.
Yes, and that's a very heartwarming thing, knowing that while you're doing this show and you're having fun with it, you're also helping out the world.
Exactly. I think we get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Yes. So for my last question, we can start with you, Mr. Rivera, and then we can go to you, Ms. Kassem. What can audiences expect from watching Foodtastic?
Audience should expect magic, pure magic happening and on the screen. It's just that there's so much beautiful things that are going to happen in the show. It's just like you are going to be submerged in the pure Disney magic. I mean, what these teams are capable to do using iconic Disney characters and creating beautiful scenes for us to make us believe that that belongs to Disney. It's just pure magic.
Of course. And what about you, Ms. Kassem?
Oh my gosh, the same. It's the Disney magic. This has to be repeated over and over again because it's so true. I mean, it's not only what they're creating and what they're building, it's the spirit and the energy of the type of competition. When you watch the show, you forget that it's a competition because you're so much cheering for these artists and their skill sets, and you're enjoying the set and realizing how each challenge is completely changed to actually be a part of that movie, whether it's a solar system or, you know, the sun changing, or there's just so much going on. I mean, in Wreck-It Ralph, there's so many episodes that we could name, but I think that watching the set the music, the vibe, everything transform in every episode makes me feel like there's actually 11 shows versus 11 episodes.
Wow, yes, that is definitely one of the best parts about watching this. And I can't wait for everybody watching at home today to go out and watch it when it comes out, because they're going to love it no matter what.
Yes, thank you. And I
yes.
hope they're like you and they get inspired to go create something as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today. This was awesome. I had so much fun.
Thank you, Tiana. Happy holidays.
Bye-bye.
Thank you both so much for speaking with me today. This was an amazingly artistic show, and I'm sure that audiences from everywhere will enjoy watching it. You can find Foodtastic streaming on Disney Plus beginning Wednesday, December 15th, 2021. Well, that's all for this review with Kids First. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our next reviews or interviews. Again, I'm Tiana S. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Remember, never stop playing with your food.
Streaming only on Disney Plus.